Join me right now is Cage Titans Bantamweight, Jay Perrin. Jay, thank you so much for the time, man. Where are you, man? You're outside somewhere.
I'm outside my gym. I'm outside my gym right now, actually. I teach class around this time. I'm doing my second session, so you caught me at kind of a weird time. I'm ready for it.
All right, now let's get into that first, man. I know you're at Syndicate. You're doing the Muay Thai classes there. How did you end up with that position?
So basically, I'd hooked up with John Wood like a few years ago, and I just loved working here. You know, I met up with Roxy and Chris Curtis, a bunch of people like that, and I had cross-trained here, and I told him I wanted to come back and train at least for a whole camp here. And you know, over time we started talking, and I wanted to move out there, out here to Vegas, and they were looking for a Muay Thai coach, and I happened to be at the time teaching Muay Thai at Sityodtong in Boston. So it just kind of fit, you know what I mean? They're like, hey, I need a job. They needed a Muay Thai coach. Shit just kind of went hand in hand. It kind of was a perfect situation.
Oh, so when exactly did that happen, the move?
The move happened in April, so I've been here since April.
Okay, all right. So that's how you ended up at Syndicate, because I thought that you just went out there to train, and then, you know, there's so many gyms out there, and you just landed on Syndicate, but there is a story to it.
Yeah, I really clicked with John Wood. Like, I feel like it's very, very, you know, rare to find, or important to find at least, a coach that not only understands you as a fighter, but that you understand their coaching style and also cares about you as a person. So I have a very individual like relationship with John, and that's important to me. You know what I mean? So everybody's been really nice here, and you know, it's kind of my new tribe. So everything just fit. The chemistry is good. The coaching is world class. You know, I have people my size here, tons of them, in fact. So, you know, the stars just kind of aligned. I fit in really well here, and my skill set has grown just being here. So, yeah, it just kind of flowed that way. I just found my match. I found the coach that I like, and here we are.
Yeah, man, and probably in the last couple of months or this year, there's so many talented fighters that are joining the gym too at the same time, because I've noticed that lately, and it's a benefit to you and everybody else, correct?
Absolutely. We got anybody on the UFC roster that you could really think of has walked in here and done training sessions. You know, right now, like Michael Chiesa just came back. You know, Marab, whose last name I can never say correctly. He's been here. He's been a huge help with my camp, actually. He's been helping me the last 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Just sparring and wrestling work and stuff like that. That's a top 10 guy in the world. You know, like I said, Amanda Rivas has been here, to all types of people, you know what I mean, that just walk in and out of the gym that you get different looks from and can pick their brains. So it's definitely a world-class gym in the fight capital of the world. So you're definitely going to find people that are in the UFC or Bellator or those higher ranking, like elite promotions, just kind of come in and off the mat nonchalantly. And it's something that you got to take advantage of when you get here.
Definitely. You know, like some people say, it's like licking your chops, right? Like some guy comes in, you want to see how good you are against him, so you might as well go at it.
That's how I felt about Marab, even though I was absolutely terrified of him. I still am. Yeah. Still am absolutely terrified of that.
For sure. Now, you know, 2019, you went on the Contender Series, didn't go your way. Then you returned in 2020, Cage Titans 47. You got the win. Take us back to that fight, and what your thoughts were overall of the performance?
I wasn't happy with that performance. To be honest with you, it was mediocre to me. I did enough to get the fight, to get the win. You know what I mean? But I could have performed better. Honestly, after the Contender Series fight, I got really, I would say hubris took over, in that people kind of fed my ego, and you know, the whole Dana White said I won thing was a thing in my head, and I thought that maybe the world owed me something, and I was going to get a call, and then, you know, I was better than I was. I think that was reflected in my performance against Diego. Did I do enough to win? Yeah, but to my own standard, it wasn't good enough, because I was a guy that I could have beat, you know, even more handily. So with that performance, you know, when I think back on that, you know, I think that performance was worse than some of my other, like, even, you know, more mediocre performances, in my own opinion, just because I thought I was better than I was. I thought I was going to go in there and walk through a guy that not many people just walk through. And so I think that was even though I won, I learned a lot about myself, and you know, how I should have my frame of mind going into a fight. You know, that that I am not anything special. You know what I mean? I got to do the work like everybody else. If I don't, then I'm going to put on a performance that I don't get my hand raised. I was lucky enough to get my hand raised. You know, Diego did enough to make it close, and I don't want it to be close anymore. You know, so that one I'm disappointed in. But I won, and I'm happy. I'm grateful that I got it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I didn't win in every facet. I did, but you know, you hold yourself to a certain standard, and I just didn't meet that standard for myself, even in a win. So I'm looking to bounce back. You know, I was supposed to fight again. I wanted to fight 4 times last year. That obviously didn't work out. So you know, this year we're just getting back. You know, it's kind of sucks that it's this late in the year because I've been trying for quite a bit. And, you know, there was actually this one guy who just got a fight announcement today that has been ducking me for 4 years, and he's getting the nod today. So you know, I tried to fight those people. They all gave me a bunch of excuses. So it's not that I haven't been not trying to get a fight. I absolutely have, and people have been avoiding the fight. So you know, I really respect my opponent because he didn't have to take this fight. He knows it's a tough fight. He took it anyway. So, you know, I'm looking at this point to have at least 2 more, at least 1 more by the end of the year, and then see where we go from there.
I'm pretty sure, you know, you refer to Kris. I forgot his last name. He just took the fight with Sean O'Malley, right? I'm pretty sure you were putting your name in there. What did they say to you, your management?
I got nothing back. They said we'll put my name in the hat, but I didn't really get anything back. Honestly, I put my name in the hat half-assed. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you got people like, you know, top 10 guys, Cody Stamen and all these roster guys, and I'm like, you know what, man, they're never gonna fucking see me, you know. So like, well, you know, what am I, a contender series guy that lost? You know what I mean? You know, what are they gonna do? Set me up? But apparently that's what they were looking for, because I don't get that matchup at all. I don't, plain old. Other than they're sending Kris in there to get murdered, and that's pretty much it. And you know what? I was angry about it for about 45 minutes, and then I realized, you know what, dude, I am not a sacrificial lamb. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a dude that's going to try and get my contract by going in to lose. You know what I mean? Like, and stylistically, I don't think that fight's going to go well for Mr. Moutinho. I know that I asked, actually, as recent, the funny thing is that the promoter of the fight for next week had told me he was trying to get Moutinho to fight me for July 10th. And I don't know what the exact excuse was, but it was like weight, or it was too soon, or something like that from his last fight, and he couldn't fight me. And this is more than one time that I've asked for him, and it didn't work out for whatever fucking reason. At this point, after a certain amount of times, it's not coincidence. So I thought that was interesting that he got that fight. What can you do? You know what I mean? You're literally going there to get head kicked and knocked out, and stylistically, I just don't see how that fight works out for you. If it does, good for you. But good that you're in the UFC, because I know what they're going to do. They're going to throw you a bone, give you another fight. And I hope that after this fight, I get the call, so then I can say, all right, well, I know which guy I want to fight, so we can do it in the UFC then, you know? So, you know, best of luck to him. I hope he wins, because I hate Sean O'Malley too. So, you know, what are you going to do? I don't even hate Kris. I just think that he doesn't want to fight me. So, I know all the power to him. It's not like, if I just don't get it. I'm down the road.
Yeah.
In Vegas.
15 minutes.
I'm cutting the same date. You know what I mean? Like, I'm for the same date. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm like 15 pounds off. I'm like 10 pounds from weight right now. I don't get it. You know, but you know, they picked who they picked, and maybe stylistically Sean's management was like, yeah, dude, we want this one instead, because Sean can't afford to lose another fight. So what can you do? You know what I mean? I can't. I'm just gonna shrug my shoulders at it. Like I said, I'm not a fucking sacrificial lamb that's supposed to go in there and lose. I have more dignity than that. I have more pride than that. If I, you know, go through my whole career and beat all these world killers, and you know they get it at the show and I don't, because they crushed cans and I didn't. You know what? Me as a man, I can say, you know what? I fought the toughest people I could forever and beat them, and all you guys can crushed and fought below your level, got to the show and got ripped right out of the show because you never faced any kind of adversity at all. All I know is that I'm 8-1 in my last 9, and you know, other people are 2-2, and two fights ago they got knocked out clean cold on national television, but I got looked up. So what are you gonna do? You know, I got a job next week. I'll handle that job. They'll put the mic on my face, and I'll start talking my shit then.
All right, man. Future matchups right there in the UFC. Actually, it's been 18 months between fights, man. And how much of a transformation have you made throughout that time, do you believe?
I would say, you know what, man? It's hard to tell that, you know what I mean, sometimes, because I never think that I always think that I'm better. You know, I continually get better with every fight. And, until you have like a proper measuring stick, until I came here, I didn't really know how far I'd come in the last year and a half. But in the last month of my training, I've really noticed it against higher level people, how well I can do against these people. And not just like a pitter patter sparring match. We're going at it, man. You know what I mean? Like me and him, me and a few people are on the roster have gone at it, and I've done just fine. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's not like I'm getting my ass whipped by world-class people. So that's my measuring stick. Maybe I haven't changed or added a ton of new things to my arsenal, but I've definitely cleaned up a lot of stuff. I'm a lot more technical. I'm a lot more cerebral with what I'm doing. There's more purpose to my movement and things that I do. Everything that I do has a purpose behind it. So, be it setups, be it my striking has come a long way. I'd say that. I'm a much more fluid striker. I can find my strikes a lot better. I think that overall, I've always been a jack of all trades. There's not one place in the fight game where I'm technically bad. You know what I mean? Because I hate that. I hate that idea that, like, not to go against specialists or anything like that, like Israel Adesanya or anybody like that who are, top tier at what they do. But I don't want to have a situation come up where, let's say I'm a striker and I get taken down and I have no fucking idea what I'm doing because I didn't train there because I didn't think I needed to. You know what I mean? AKA Kevin Holland. You know what I mean? Like the things like that. I don't want to slap somebody in the ear for 3 minutes and, make a spectacle of myself. I'd rather be good everywhere. So I think I've always been well-rounded. But since moving here in the last 3 months, I've noticed that I have grown quite a bit under the instruction of John Wood. The general leads very, very well, and I have a great team to push me. And, I'm here 6 days a week. Before I think I got to number one, maybe training 3 days a week. I traveled an hour and a half away, 2 hours away every other day to, get to Syndicate from where I lived. Now I live 2 miles down the road. You know what I mean? Like I walk to training 3 miles to and fro 6 days a week. On the 7th day, I'm still running, so I think I'm just much more consistent. I'm all the way through, all the way through. I don't stop. Even on days that I don't want to be here, I'm fucking here for hours and hours and hours. I'll be here from 9 to 1. And then I go home, take a shower, eat, and I'm back to teach, and then I do more. You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm tired. It's not like I don't get tired. I love what I do. So if there's been any change, it's been that my whole life is martial arts now. All of it is every aspect, from work to fighting to training other people to training myself. Everything is fighting. So I think that next week everybody's going to really see that come to fruition, like show when I fight, is that this is all that I do and all that I think about and all that I love to do. The only thing that sucks about it is I can't have fucking chicken parm whenever I want to. That's really it. And best you believe me, when I get to that scale, I am going to absolutely have some chicken parm. So, I would just say that if there's anything that I could say I've improved upon, it's everything. I've gone everywhere. I've done everything I can. Confidently, I can say I've done everything I can to become better in the last year and a half, and I never stopped. You know what I mean? Like, everybody took breaks and shit. I never did that. I was in my brother's garage with a punching bag for 9 months, and I got better still, and I still wanted to fight the best guys, I didn't have a team in Syndicate when everything was shut down, and I still was there. I showed up, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I show up, and I will. I do on game day. I do during training days. I show up, and so if you don't show up on game day with me, you're in for a fucking rude awakening, because I'm going to beat you up because I do show up.
I'm going to wait until July 10th to have some chicken parm, and I'm just going to think of you, man, and you're having it too at the same time, just across the world.
Send me pictures of all of your chicken parm. Send all that. Dude, I only have one superstition. One. I'm really not superstitious like that at all, but like, if I don't have chicken parm after weigh-in, I'm fucking losing it. I don't like it. I'm like, nope, this is it. I need it. I need chicken parm and have whatever the fuck else. I just need that one meal, and I'll be good.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you mentioned the striking man, the guy that you're facing, the raging Korean. He is a boxer, a striker. So you get to test it out. What do you expect in this
Yep.
fight coming up?
So first off, before I say anything, I respect Andy Aiello very, very much. I know him. We were supposed to fight when I was younger in my career. I think it was like 2-0 or 3-0 or 3-1 or something like that. And the roof of the venue caved in or something like that, so the whole card got scrapped. But I think that this would have been a tougher fight. Not to say that it won't, you know what I mean? Be a tough fight, or that he's not a tough guy. But if the first stat that you have is he's a tough guy, that doesn't bode well. You know what I mean? How do I think it's going to go? I think that Andy's got a lot of particular. He's an older guy. He's been around for a long time. It's hard to teach old guys new tricks. That makes sense. So I've done the tape. I've watched the tape. Maybe 8 years ago, he would have had a better chance against me. I think that I'm a higher caliber. I keep up with top 10 guys in the world. You know what I mean? And he's on the other half of his career, and again, he's tough. He comes from a great gym in the Lausanne crew, and I have nothing but respect for them and everything that they produce. And Joe especially, you know what I mean? He's been a really cool guy to me in my life. I know him personally. I just think, like I said, I am better everywhere that this goes. I think that if I choose to take Andy down, he's going to go down. If I choose to choke him out, I will do that. Would I like the knockout? Absolutely, I would. Who would want that, But I think that he reaches, he keeps his chin high. He doesn't really throw in combination. He pot shots a lot, and he doesn't move his feet or his head. And against somebody that has good footwork like me and does well high and low, I think stylistically I'm just kind of a nightmare for him. I fought strikers like Ken Moy. Ken Moy was I think 11-2 when I fought him, and easily in his prime UFC caliber fighter, and definitely a better striker than Andy, and I blew him away, and that's my friend, and I beat him handily for 5 rounds. Another thing about this is that I wanted to put my belt on the line for this, but we talked about one of the people that ducked me for that, and then there was another person that ducked me for the title, and then Andy accepted the fight, but he only accepted it if it was 3 rounds, and that's a real thing that happens. So, again, I'm not talking shit. I'm just naming facts. You asked for a 3-round fight. So, to me, that means that your cardio is probably not as great as it should be. And if you've ever watched a single fight of mine, I don't get tired. So, I'm faster, stronger, and more technical, and I don't get tired. So I just think that the longer that this fight goes, and I don't intend on making it very long, the worse it is for Andy. I don't think there's any part of this that he's better than me at, and it'll show.
You take care of business. That's back-to-back wins. In the fall, The next season of the Contender Series is coming up. You're right down the street. I know Syndicate's like 15 minutes or something crazy like that. It's like you can walk there basically, right?
Dude, I can see the eye right here. It's right there. I can see it. It's right there.
Yeah. So are you looking for that, or are you just looking to just hop into the UFC directly?
You know what? Ideally, you want a 3-fight contract. Like, hey, you want a 3-fight contract? Here you go. That'd be great. I'll take it any way I can get it, dude. But honestly, after the first time I lost the Contender Series, I'm not putting my eggs in that basket, to be completely honest. Not to say that I won't. It's not if I get to the UFC. I will get to the UFC. It's just, if you go, all right, I won this, I deserve this, and then that's what it doesn't happen. You become really depressed and displeased with things, and it's harder to get into the gym. So I'm going to win. And then whoever they line up next, I'll fucking beat that guy too. And then until it's impossible for Dana and Sean Shelby to ignore me anymore, I'll do that. You know what I mean? I'll continue to win and continue to rack up what I need to. I have one of the best teams in the world here, and people that care about me and want me to grow, and I see nothing but the sky's the limit here. Every single thing that I've ever said I'm going to do, I've done, except getting the UFC. So we're almost there. I can feel it coming, but I'm not going to say that I deserve this, or I'm not going to tell Sean Shelby how to do his fucking job, because he's got the 30. I'm in a division that's so stacked it can be comparable to 55. It can be comparable to any of the most stacked divisions in the world. So, if you get overlooked, you get overlooked, because there's a lot of people with a lot of talent, and it's up to me to just, to display that talent on a scale that's not ignorable, if that makes sense. So, Do I want to make it there? Yeah. Would I go on the Contender Series? Easily. In a fucking heartbeat, I'd do that. But am I expecting it or think that's absolutely going to come? I don't know. So I'm not going to, my manager will be like, hey, you're fighting this guy on this date. And I'm going to go, word, let's go. That's usually how it works. So.
Well, you're in prime position, man. All you got to do is go in there July 10th, Cage Titans 49, take care of business, and then you'll be sitting good, man. Thank you so much, Jay, for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you having me on.